Hey, Sunflower, how you doing? Yes, I do. You were on Paula's last night. Just give me 1 second here. Hey, Zena. Hey, Zena, do you mind if I give you a blue wrench, just in case? Oh. Hold on, Zena. Sorry about that, Zena. I hit the wrong thing. I think I put you in timeout. So now you're a moderator now. Do you see that? Hopefully. I don't know why you and Okies, you and him have the same name. Same person. I am the same person. Thank you, Zena. Sorry about that. I scrolled too quick, and when I hit, it moved, and I hit the one that said time you out. Sunflower, me, Okies Hustle on this page. My other one is Okies Eden. I have 2 channels. So sometimes I start my other channel up, set myself up as a moderator. That way, if I get trolls, I can just click them with my mouse here, my pig mouse. And but Zena's here. So if she misses one or I miss one, the other one will pick it up. Let me get this out of the way real quick. Number one, my rescue dog, Lexi, said, if you're trying to grow your channel and maybe it's not working out very well, just don't be too rough on yourself. So she wanted me to pass that along. In order to time people out, Sunflower, you have to have a blue wrench. Oh, no problem, Zena. No problem. You've had some really good stuff lately. I've enjoyed watching your videos. Yes, rough. Really weird. Zena, were you at my live, the last live I had on Okies Eden? You have to have a blue wrench, Sunflower. If you're on your own channel doing a live, when somebody comes on you're familiar with, just click on their picture and go down to the bottom. It'll say put as a moderator. You touch that and it'll give them a blue wrench, and then they can help watch for trolls. On my, I'm not sure if you were or not, but I only did like an hour. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I can't remember when, but when I left, you get that you get a white box at the end that says, how many chats there were, how many people showed up, blah, blah, blah. It just gives you some information. I picked up 5 subscribers from that. I've never had that happen in my life on a live before. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, I was really happy. Yeah, in one live, I picked up 5, and I still have kept them all. So I don't know if it's, the cool glasses. I don't know if it's the pumpkin plants or the dog. It's something. And remember, this channel here, this is my Okies Eden channel. So I try to use this as my a conduit for myself and others to grow. So I'll use analytics from my other channel here. So if I do something and it messes me up, I'll mention it here. I don't know if anybody saw it, but this morning on my other channel, I did a really quick live. I didn't talk to anybody because it was literally, I was finishing harvesting the rest of the potatoes, and I got down to the last 2 plants. And since I started Okies Eden growing potatoes, I wanted the people that have been here from the beginning to be able to see me harvest the very last 2 plants that I planted, the very first planting. I just wanted people to see that. Oh, hey Natty, how you doing? And so it was only a 5-minute video. I didn't talk to anybody. It wasn't meant for that. What I want to do is, that's why this channel's like this. I might pop on for 5 minutes because I want it to be current. If I find out something on YouTube, I'll do a really quick live and I'll just boom, 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 and then I'll be gone. But then people can watch it later. Yes, Natty, it was. I got on that yield there, I got over 80 pounds. I think right now I'm at about 120 pounds for the year on that garden. And I still have about 22 plants that were planted later that are still, will be harvested in a month or two. And then I actually have my potato bags going again in the back because I already did them once. And I'm keeping them going. And I did a quick video on those the other day on my potato plants I did inside, and I did some more outside. So I did a quick video on that. So let's see. So again, this is a conduit for other people. So people want to share ideas here. If people ask a question, I try to answer, or if somebody else here can answer it, that's great. We're not gurus. I'm not a genius. I just can pass on what I've read, what I understand, what failed for me, what did really well for me. And I want to be able to pass that so people can grow and get monetized, because that's what everybody's trying to do. And if I can help with that, if somebody gets monetized, then that's great. Both my channels are doing really well in subs and analytics and everything. I was just wondering how everybody else is doing. Natty, I do not grow garlic. I did a quick video on harvesting garlic yesterday. The previous owners at this house, they grew elephant garlic out back by the telephone pole. They put it around the telephone pole. I didn't even know what it was because I've never grown garlic. Then 3 years ago, I was outside mowing and I ran over one of the plants a little bit. And it's 105. It was like August. Oh, hey Chris, how you doing? And I'd already been out there for an hour mowing, so it's 105 degrees and I'm getting really warm. Hey, Chef Zed. And you know, I was needing a break. And as I come back around, I smell garlic. And I'm like, that's weird. I don't grow garlic. And then I realized, well, either there's garlic near me that I hit with the mower, or I'm having a stroke because I'm smelling something. Ends up, I shut the mower off, I went over with my spade fork, and I started digging up all this elephant garlic, and it was the size of a softball. And I haven't touched it, I don't water it, I don't do anything, and every year I get 5 or 6, garlic things out of it. But yeah, so again, if you guys have ideas, I talked about analytics. Hopefully everybody's growing and gaining subscribers. If you do get here, if you don't mind clicking the like, I would appreciate it. That'd be awesome. I asked this last night on my other channel, has anybody here done a trailer yet or doing a trailer for their main page on YouTube? I did do one a couple days ago. I mean, it's gotten some views, so I'm assuming that's a plus because it's getting views and likes and comments. But I don't know. They claim it has an effect on people that come to your page for the first time if they go to your homepage. So I don't know if that's true or not. I decided to try it because I know YouTube suggests it sometimes. Actually, YouTube puts it in their stuff there. Oh, before I go any further, here's some information. I think everybody here knows this, but a lot of the guru people that go on, or the geniuses on YouTube that are going to give you 5 million viewers, they get their information right from the dashboard. So, oh, you're in the process. That's cool, Zena. You just use your intro song. I remember that, Natty. Okay, yes. Cool. Well, if anybody has, if you do it and you do, I said do. I said do. Oh, speaking of do, this is just an offshoot. Let me just sidebar this. People on here know me enough, know that I like stupid puns and jokes. So I, for a short period of time, was a peace officer, and I had to go to the recruit to school to be a peace officer, police academy. During the police academy, you have to memorize the code of ethics, and it is about 2 pages long, word for word, and you have to recite it to your instructor before the end. At some point before you graduate, you have to recite it to your instructor word for word. In the very first day, I'm 48 years old now. 48 years old. First day in the academy, I don't know anybody. And we have to read it. So they pass our desks are empty. There's 44 of us in the room. Our desks are empty, and except for a piece of paper. On that piece of paper, front and back, was printed the code of ethics that we had to memorize. So that was his first speech he gave us was, we're going to read this now, and by the end of the next, 23 or 24 weeks of this academy, you have to memorize this word for word or you don't pass. So he goes, so every morning and every night when we come in, before we start, before we leave, we'll read through it as a group. Well, so he goes, okay, here we go, everybody in unison, let's start to read. So we start to read, and one of the first lines is, as a peace officer, I am prepared to fulfill my duty. No lie. I went, haha, you said duty. The instructor stops the class, and he comes over in front of me and he says, do I need to call your chief and tell you he made a poor decision in bringing you here? And I'm like, no, sir, you do not. Just thought I'd share that with you. Anyways, getting back to the trailer, because if I hear duty or doo-doo, hey, I'm like a young guy, a young boy. You hear duty or poopy or something, you laugh. I can't help it. It's in my DNA. I'm reading I got a script here I was working on, so. And I have some other stuff. I'm just going to run through some ideas. So I didn't want to do a bunch of videos on these because I'm not one of these gurus. I want to help everybody now. If somebody's here now and they haven't thought of this, only you, Jay. That's right. Yeah, I have another one I'll tell later. And I thought I was going to get fired, but I was only kidding. But anyways, I'll talk about that one later if you guys want to hear it. When you post a video, I always like to put a comment. I'll put some kind of a comment with a call to action, like, hey, hit subscribe if you like my content, or if you have if you like the joke, or you want to add to the joke, or give me a different punchline, put it in the bottom, some kind of pinned comment. You don't have to wait for the video to go live to do that. So if you don't know this already, I'm just sharing this with you. You probably already know this. But before you release the video and make it public or whatever, or schedule it, unlist it, mark it unlisted, then go into edit, hit the play button. Your video will play because it's your video. You can watch it. It's playing. Click on the comment, add your comment with your call to action or whatever you want to call it, and then just click enter and then pin. That pins that comment there. So that's always going to be the top comment. So 2 days from now or 3 days from now or whenever you schedule it, hey, Nicola, all you have to do is nothing. When your video releases, the pinned comment's there. So you don't have to wait for the video to drop, then go quick and add a comment and pin it. You can just unlist it, pin the comment, then go back and change it to the scheduled date you want it released. Don't know if everybody knew that or not. Most do, but it is really important if you want to do a pinned comment to unlist your video before it releases, add it, then schedule it, then release it. What does that do? What it does is if you want to comment on your video to have something there so when people show up, that's what it's for. You can go in, add it just before you release it. Otherwise, you can go in later and comment and add the pinned comment. But by then, you might already have 4 or 5 or 10 comments or whatever. Hey, Chris. Hope the job's going well. So if you don't know, so that's always I like to share that tip. Community posts, I've been using those more and getting a lot of traction with them. And people are using them for call outs and shout outs or whatever you want to call them. So if you're not using those, instead of having to post a long video and scheduling it, You're napping, but I'm going to go back. Napping? Boy, get to work, man. I'm just kidding. So use community posts. It's a great way to gain a little traction. I've had people that do not subscribe to me have come in and seen them and commented. So that was very weird. The other thing, does anybody else here? I know some do because they have followed me and I followed back if I remember. If I missed it, sorry, I'll go back and do it. But I do have an Instagram and I do have a Facebook for Okies Eden. It's just Okies Eden on Facebook, and you can find me. It's a logo, green and yellow oval with some vegetables in it. It says Okies Eden. And then my Instagram is just, I think I changed it. If I didn't, it's just a younger version of me when I was coaching Little League Baseball when I was in my 30s. You did? How? Oh, do you hit that little TV thing up in the corner? Because I didn't know what that was. Let me know what it is. I want to know. I don't know if it always tells me it won't let me do it. I've wanted to do the landscape for a long time, especially with the garden. So let me know how you do it. Or email me however you did it. I don't care how you want to do it. You can do it here or email me. That'd be great. Another thing I like to impress on people from my experience, if you don't mind me saying, is try to learn something new every day, every other day, or every week from YouTube. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate it. Whether it's to put in how you put in your timestamps or your chapters in your description for your long form videos, learn something, the difference between the hours and watch time and views and impressions and all that, how that differs between shorts and long form videos. How to use special effects on it doesn't even have to be YouTube, stuff for YouTube. So when you come into YouTube, there's some special effects. You'll see I did a duck, I think it was a duck, and like a cookie. Those are just special effects in the YouTube short section. So you can come into YouTube and then mess around with that. It'll put a different face on you. It'll move the mouth while you talk. And then it'll do a video. So I've messed with that. But to learn something new every day just helps you on the platform. Nicole, she was trying to figure out how to do your phone so you could go sideways with it instead of up and down, so you can get more of a landscape. I don't know how to do it. She didn't know how to do it, and she figured it out. So she's going to be telling me how we do that. Another big thing I would say is treat YouTube, whether it's part-time or full-time, like it's a job. If you're just, watching 40 videos a day and not doing anything with your YouTube channel, you're not going to grow. It's just going to stay flatlined. You got to do content. You got to learn how to do content. You got to, you better yourself, try to get better with the camera, try to get better with scripting, try to get better with descriptions, all of that. It really is. And so it's like a volunteer job. You're not getting paid for it, but you're learning because you're trying to get paid for it. So you're always trying to impress the person, which is your YouTube community and the YouTube algorithm, that you're worth paying through ad structure and ad revenue. So you're basically always on a job interview until you're monetized, would be how I would say it, I guess. Yes. Yeah, it is a business. It really is. Hey, Mrs. Paula, how you doing? Oh, so that would be my other piece of advice. Like I said, this is just advice from an old guy that probably doesn't have much time left on this earth. That was a joke. I think most people here, we spend time on each other's lives on YouTube, and we all interact back and forth. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think one of the biggest and most important things about YouTube growth and getting towards monetization is interaction interaction, interaction. And I say that 3 times, interaction, 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 because it's important. Yeah, I'm not a cool young grandma, believe me. If you were in my real life, you'd be like, that is the most boring doofus ever. He just likes to play in the dirt. And that's the other thing I thought of the other day. My father used to say, a garden is just an adult sandbox. You go and you play in the dirt. Yes, Natty. Yeah, I've been looking into that. Yeah, I think you have to do that even if you're going to like sell like merchandise. I think, right? Don't you still have to do that? I think. Or if you're going to do, there's some people have that buy me a coffee, things like, or Patreon or Linktree or something like that, where people can send them money, or Amazon or something. I think you have to be listed somehow as a business there also. I'm not there yet. That'll I'll get there at some point doing that. But I think everybody would agree. Okay, so when you get to like the 500, 3,000 or whatever it is for the first monetization, kind of the quasi modification, you have to register. Okay, and membership. Gotcha. Thank you for sharing that, Natty. But I think everybody here would agree. I've seen more success in my analytics, I think, when you're getting more interaction. Because when YouTube sees your video getting viewed and interacted with and commented on and shared, that's what YouTube wants. Oh, really? Okay. Well, I'm glad. Thank you for mentioning that. Hopefully everybody can take note of that. But yeah, I've noticed, you watch your, and I noticed, like, because again, I'm trying this again because I did split my niche on my other channel, because that's my test kitchen over there, so I can bring that information over here. I'm throwing a lot of jokes in there again, and I was getting upwards. I was getting 2, 3, 4, got up to over 6,000 on one. I was getting a lot of views, and then I started throwing other gardening stuff in again because I wanted to, because my garden was getting ready to harvest, and I'm proud of that. So I started doing that again, and then sure enough, you could start to watch things decline. But I will say this, even though I split the niche, as they say, all of my analytics, if I get 1,000, like the other day I got a 1,300 view one, which was great. That was, to me, that's really good. The views were 80% stayed, 20% swiped away, so that's really good. The watch time was good. All the analytics for them were really, really, really good. The impressions were like 1,800 or 1,700, and there was actually 1,300 actual views, not just impressions, actual views. Yes, yeah, consistency. And that was another thing we were joking about the one day. I do. So Nicola, I'm working on like a 20-minute one from the other day. I do have a video I'm going to be releasing, and because I'm going to be pulling another trailer from that. But I do have like a 20-minute video harvesting garlic, showing something out by the wood shop again, showing something in the garden, showing the pumpkins. I have, over the next couple days, you'll see pumpkin stuff coming out, because my pumpkins have freaked out. It's like they're on steroids or something. The runners are 10 feet. They're hooking to everything. They're hooking to the trees. They're hooking to the potato plants. They're hooking to each other. They're hooking to the pallets. If you sit there too long in a chair, it'll hook to your leg. And they're growing like a foot every night, the runners. So there's going to be a lot of that coming up right from the pumpkin patch. The live from this, you like this live, or did you like, Mrs. Paula, did you like the live, the 5-minute one from this morning with the potatoes? If anybody's just fresh getting here, they haven't heard me this, but I did the video. I showed that 5-minute live, and I walked around and showed the different piles. That pile, that was 20 remaining plants or so, 25. I got over 80 pounds of potatoes this morning. I dug those this morning. I had to give some away because I just, we eat potatoes a lot. Oh, and I just posted a community post. Incoming is, I talked about doing a brown butter. I'm doing a brown butter video. It'll be coming out probably tomorrow because I do brown butter I like to use brown butter when I do my my home fries. So getting back to growth stuff, interaction, interaction, interaction. Oh, another thing, a lot of people, I know most people here do this, even on my off time, if I still seek out, I still go look at people in jokes, in gardening, in car repair, woodworking. I find new people all the time, or they're presented to me on YouTube, and I go follow them and I go watch their stuff and I comment because I think it's important that YouTube sees you reaching out, confirming your niche that yes, this guy does really like gardening. He's watching 5 other gardeners and commenting all the time. Whether it does or not, I don't know, because I'm not AI. Not that AI knows, because AI is pretty much stupid right now. Yeah, so Mrs. Paula, I was literally going down to have lunch with my wife, do our grocery shopping, and I had to pick up a prescription. And I went to leave the house, and I happened to look down and it said, "Oh, Paula's live." So I'm like, well, I'm going to be driving, so I'm not going to be able to answer or, correspond or anything. So I just put it on my Bluetooth on the phone or so I could hear it on the radio. And I listened to the whole thing all the way down to the city. No, don't worry, Nicola, don't worry about it. Like I said, see, here's what I do. Every live, I do this. I script 5 or 10 things I'm going to talk about, and then if people show up and want to talk about something else, we can. And then I just keep going down the list and talking about it. Then if nobody shows up, I've done my first lives, I had no people show up, but I had a 15-minute script. And I just went down, said what I wanted to say, treated it like a regular video, and then I just kept it released, put some, hashtags in it and neatened up the stuff and whatever. That's how I do it. And then if nobody shows up, the heck do I care? I mean, nobody likes me anyways. I'm just kidding. Relax. Everybody relax. You're too serious. Did anybody watch the 5-minute this morning? Did anybody, if you watched my 5-minute live from the garden this morning with the potatoes, did you see the blooper, the first 5 seconds? When I messed up, I saw, yes, Mrs. Paul, I saw that. I heard you guys saying how bad it was. And I almost started laughing because I was like, I went to say good morning and how is everybody or something, or welcome to Okies Eden, and I messed up and it just, the first 5 seconds I completely bombed. And I was gonna go back and edit it, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna, who cares? I mean, it was kind of funny. I stumbled over some words and I think I combined a couple words, but that's my life anyways. So let me tell that other story while people are here. If anybody wants to hear this other dumb story from the police academy, because I have plenty of stories. You would not believe the stories from working in law enforcement and the police academy and working in jails. The stories are endless. I could write a book. So we're in the academy, okay? And I was already talked to a couple times by the main instructors. We came to the point in time where, as a patrol officer, you deal with car accidents. And you have to do, you have to be able to figure out who did what, who's at fault, and be able to, investigate to a certain extent. So you learn investigations on how to figure out through the skid marks and whatever other information you have, and from eyewitnesses and all of that. Well, then you have to do an accident report. So he literally, we went to a big car wrecking yard, and they walked us around, and then we had to pick cars. Because the damage on the car, the front fender, rear fender, this side, driver's side, passenger side, roof, whatever, you'd have this report and you'd be making checks on different boxes and stuff. And he said, hey, 2 reports, I need them done before we leave tonight because I'm taking them home for a couple days to grade them before I come back from my vacation. So at that time, no, I'm not going to get political. This is not political. I just used their names. It was when Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump were both running against each other for president. But he told us, don't use your own name, use another name. Don't use your social security number on the report or your phone number. Make stuff up. Never put your own information on your reports so nobody ever gets a hold of this information. Make it up. So we each had to do 2 accident reports from what we saw, like we were doing an investigation. So 44 of us, right? So we had to do these reports. So I do my reports. My first accident report, the person that was involved in the accident was Donald J. Trump. My second report was Hillary Rodham Clinton. Those were my 2 reports. And filled out my reports. They were all perfect. And so me and the 2 guys I knew, we're yucking it up, thinking it's hilarious, Well, he comes back from his vacation with the reports. He came in a sour mood. And I already knew at that point I shouldn't have done what I did. It's that moment in time when you're like with your dad, it's like, oh crap, he found out. Anyways, as he's going down through, he holds up the first one and he goes, first of all, I want to know who filled out one with the guy in the accident as Donald J. Trump. So I held up my hand. I said, me, sir. And he walks over and he goes, can you not just be serious for once in your life? And I said, I apologize. You said not to use our own name. I was just being a wise guy, sorry. He gives it to me. He gave me a good grade. And he turns around and starts to walk away. And I said, sir? And he said, what? I said, you're going to come across Hillary Rodham Clinton. That's mine too. He just thumbed through and just gave it to me and he says, any more grief from you the rest of this academy and I'm calling your chief. So I'm like, all right, sorry, no more grief. So I just thought you guys would find that funny. That's from my past. It had nothing to do with YouTube growth, but I had mentioned the other funny part earlier about duty and doo-doo, so I figured that was also a pretty funny one. If Paula is still here and Nicole is still here, from my live yesterday, I picked up 5 subscribers. I've gotten 1 before from a live. Has anybody else gotten mass subscribers from a live like that, like multiples, 3, 4, 5, 10? It's never happened to me before. When that box popped up at the end when you're done, I couldn't believe it. Hey, Teacher Kelly, good to have you here. I'm just going through a bunch of stuff about YouTube growth. Yeah, Mrs. Paul, I picked up 5, and I didn't even realize it, and I've kept them because nobody's left, and they didn't get kicked out from YouTube. Hey, Peter, nice to have you here. Peter Urbanowski's here. So I'll give a round of applause for Peter Urbanowski. Peter's a jokester. I don't think he'll mind that. Before anybody got here, my first statement was, hey, everybody, if you're having trouble with YouTube or you're just not gaining users or subscribers and you're not gaining likes and views, my rescue dog, Lexi, said, hey, don't be rough on yourself. Just try better. Just do better. And last night I was wrong. Somebody asked me what I'm drinking. I said it was Jolly Rancher Blue from Dollar General. They were right. It's Starburst. This stuff is delicious. Oh, Peter's video on YouTube terminology was really funny. I kicked myself. I wish I had thought of that. But I'm old and slow. just an old, slow, decrepit old man. Oh, here's some news. My son, because everybody knows I got that tiller, 75 bucks. The only thing it needed was it needed a cover, the plastic cover for over the air cleaner on the carburetor. That was only a few bucks. I already got that coming in. The pull start, that spring coil was working, but it was starting to go. That was 20 bucks. So that baby's up and running like a champ. It's like a brand new tiller. Maybe slow, but are hilarious. Well, I don't know about hilarious. I don't know if people are laughing at me or with me. So my son, the other day gave me, he had an old mower in his yard. He's got a bunch of mowers and he's always repairing them. And he's like, hey, Dad, do you want this mower? It works great. It just needs, it needs a gasket for under the carburetor. I've already cleaned it. It runs great and everything. So I said, yeah. So he ordered the gasket for me. And now I have a riding mower. I always push because I push mow and I do all, that's why when I started Okies Eden, the garden, the reason I did everything by hand is because I don't have time to do an exercise program or routine all the time. So I dig it all with a shovel and a spade fork, and I mow by push mowing. We got probably almost an acre out here. I push mow, do all the weed whack, all by hand. That's my exercise program. But I've noticed as my garden expands, I don't have time to push mow and then turn everything by hand if I want to expand Okies Eden, which is what I want to do. Peter, that's great. That's my favorite kind of humor. I like dad jokes. I like dumb jokes and puns. I like clean stuff. I never got into I always liked Bob Hope and guys like that, and coming up through even Rodney Dangerfield. He got a little off color sometimes, but when he was doing like a family, some kind of show or something, he could be hilarious. But then they kind of go off on this tangent, and it's just constant, just F-bomb, 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 F-bomb. And it's like, every once in a while, if you say it or you bleep it out, it can be funny if it makes sense. But just to do it, just, I like clean comedy. I like comedy that makes you think. Peter, check out, or anybody else can too. Yes, Jerry Lewis. Did you know Jerry Lewis was a good dancer? Peter, are you British? I can't remember if you're British or not. Let me know if you're British, because I have some information for you. But Jerry Lewis is actually a good dancer. And I have a story about Jerry Lewis. My dad, when he was in the Korean War, they were in whatever base it was on their ship. He was on a destroyer, and they were in dock, or not in dock, but they were in the bay pulling in. And Jerry Lewis and some of his friends and some women were in a motorboat, and they were driving around my father's destroyer, the ship in the Navy, and saying hi to the sailors and waving and thumbs up and all that. Jerry Lewis was. Okay, so he's British. So as far as I understand, like the Beatles, for years, the British like rockabilly. I like Elvis. I like Brian Setzer from the Stray Cats. Eddie Cochran, that did Summertime Blues originally. He's the one that wrote that song. Blue Suede Shoes was done by Carl Perkins. But I know that Britain and Japan, they really like their rockabilly. Eddie Cochran did a song called Jelly Bean. You can look this up. So it's Eddie Cochran. It's Eddie, Eddie, Cochran, Cochran. He's an old rockabilly guy. You'll find him on YouTube. That's my favorite, probably. Him and Elvis are my two favorites. He did a song, Jelly Bean. If you look up Eddie Cochran, Jelly Bean, Jerry Lewis, that's when I found out. I didn't realize Jerry Lewis could dance. And he was in a movie with Dean Martin and some, I can't remember the girl's name, but he was out there dancing, and it was like, I didn't realize he could dance like that. I thought he was just a comedian. Yeah, Jerry Lewis with his facial expressions, the way he walks around. He's kind of like Dick Van Dyke was the same way. Dick Van Dyke used to do a lot of that falling and stuff. He did that. He did that himself. That was part of his shtick, was his tipping over and falling and just saying stupid stuff. But yeah, look up Eddie Cochran, Jerry Lewis, Jelly Bean, and see, you'll see what I mean. How he can really dance. I didn't realize that. But how is the growth going, Peter? How you're doing pretty well with your growth, hopefully. Everything going well. I know all the ones I've been following that we subscribe to each other and interact with each other all the time. I always see their numbers keep going up. So that's what it's all about, I guess. I think I have all the Jerry Lewis movies on Bellboy. Okay. Yeah, growth is slow. It is in the beginning anyways. I mean, a lot of times, I think we've all faced that it is. But the more, like I said before, interaction, I think you're going to find the more you interact. And I don't just mean with the people that you are hanging with now that are your subscribers, but oh, hey, welcome back, Natty. I also mean going out, like everybody knows, I like dad jokes. I do woodworking. I do my gardening. I do other things. And I'll go to new channels every day. I'll try to find 1 or 2 new channels that I can just watch some of their stuff. I interact. They might say something back. They might not. Then again, I'll do it. And then finally, on a couple channels, somebody came back and said, hey, you know, I've been seeing you've been commenting. Nice to meet you. And they subscribe. So I just keep reaching out. And eventually, if you do, a lot of times you'll get like a top commenter or something. Oh, that was my other point. I forgot to tell you. Yes, we do, Teacher Kelly. We do have a great community here. Peter, you like the jokes too? Go check out Jokes with Amber. It's Jokes with Amber. And it's a lady, and she's always standing in like an office environment or a schoolroom environment or something. And she's always got some kind of print, like a dress or a nice shirt. Not like I wear. I mean, I'll wear, well, when I'm outside working, it's a dirty work shirt because I'm outside working. But I have a couple like shorts like this. But she dresses up, and she does riddles every day. She does a riddle or 2, sometimes every single day. So I followed her a long time ago, and then she finally followed me back, and now we interact a lot. And she does riddles where she'll say the riddle, she'll give you a couple seconds to try to figure it out, and then she'll give the answer. So I always put it on pause so I can try to figure it out. And I usually get one here, a day later I'll get another one, a couple days later. I haven't gotten 2 in a row yet. Oh, cool. Yeah, she's great. And you know, like I said, at first I would make comments and she'd always, you know, give me a like or the heart or whatever. And now she interacts. She'll actually come to my page if I don't see her page for a day or 2. She'll come interact and say something on one of my videos. So, you know, that's what I mean by interaction. Actually seeking out people in your niche really does help. And so what I was saying was, yeah, go to Peter Urbanowski's page and look at the YouTube terms. When he first started, he goes, I had no idea that, you know, YouTube terms were what they were. And then he starts making these like jokes about the different terms. It's pretty funny. Go watch it. Let's see. The person who makes me doesn't want me. The person who wants me doesn't need me. And the person who needs me doesn't see me. What am I? Person. I have no idea. I didn't say I was good at riddles. I only get like one day, and I haven't gotten 2 of hers in a row. What is it, Peter? I think we're all going to sit here and wait until you tell us. A coffin. Right, okay. Let me just scroll it back down. Right. Gotcha. Coffin. Okay. Yeah, that's a tough one. I never would have got that. I mean, that's why, cemeteries are usually pretty busy, at times because people are dying to get in. Peter, yeah, check out Teacher Kelly. She does a lot of stuff. She did a really good one the other day on growth and how much she got or was getting paid or whatever for monetization because she got monetized. And that was a really good video. I told my son, whenever I'm working with my son and I have this relationship. We have a really my son he's awesome. The relationship we have is, I can't even describe how good my relationship is with my son, but we pick on each other relentlessly. I mean, we just pick. And we were working we were putting siding on his house the one day, and he did something. I think I gave him a measurement. He cut it short. And so he had to recut, and we had to use that piece elsewhere. And he goes, oh, sorry about that. I said, hey, listen, don't worry about it. You can help me out here. Do me a favor. I want you to be a pallbearer when I die and you're at my funeral. I want you to be a pallbearer. That way, you can let me down one last time. But that's the relationship. We can have serious talks, and we can have other talks, and we spend a lot of time together, and it's nice to have a child, that you're close with if you have children, and especially since we have a lot of the same. We like old cars. I used to restore old cars. I have a 1966 Ford Falcon. Maybe I'll put some videos up at some point. I had fixed the engine, fixed the body, did all the work on it, getting ready to get it painted. But I've worked on other cars. I helped my brother who did car restoration and mechanics. But yeah, okay, let me give you this one. Maybe I don't know if YouTube will like this or not, but we're at the house the one day, and I had to leave for a minute because I was going to go get a haircut. And I said, hey, I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm going to get a haircut. And he told me, why don't you go get your throat cut? And I was like, what? You know a lot about cars, classics, and antiques. That's awesome. Yeah, I had a 1966 Ford Falcon. It had the straight six in it. I had all the undercarriage done. I was working on the suspension. I had fixed the engine. Engine ran like a top. I was getting bucket seats for the front because it was a bench seat because it was a 60s car, 1966, and it was when families rode together. Wife and I are the same. I pray for death and she keeps trying, but says I'm too stubborn to just die. That's right. Do you really? You have a huge collection of cars, huh? There you go. Peter, did you ever hear this one? My wife was doing her makeup the other day, and she drew her eyebrows on just too high, and I told her, you drew them on too high, and she looked surprised. Hey, everybody. If you didn't watch from the beginning, if you don't mind going back, looking at some of the tips and everything, but this will be actually public, obviously, right away, but I am going to go back out because now, since I dug up all those potatoes this morning, I want to get that whole area tilled. so I can get all of those potato plants and green bean plants tilled up and underground so they can start to decompose. Once I do that, keep your eyes open on my Okies Eden page. I'm going to be doing a video tonight with the garden the way it is now, with all the potatoes harvested, and you'll see how I have the pumpkins. It'll make more sense how I got my 10 pumpkin plants situated in the garden. And then I'm also going to be doing a video on how I do brown butter for some of my cooking. I use brown butter in like cookies or my potatoes. I'm going to do that, and that'll be posted on Okies Eden later or tomorrow. And then I have a bunch of videos coming up because starting tomorrow till next Tuesday, I have my grandson. So my daughter-in-law and my son can get away and get a breath, and they go on a vacation every year. And then we take care of my grandson for a few days just so they can have a break from the issues they have to deal with. And so I obviously won't be doing a bunch of video stuff over the next 5 days. So I loaded up last week and this week. So I wouldn't have to, because I'll be taking him to physical therapy and the occupational therapy and all that stuff. And then I do therapy. I'm the main therapy person. I work with the therapist, so I can do all of the physical therapy. So I'll have 5 days with him, 5 straight days of physical therapy that I'm working with him every day. And then I'll have to take him actually to the physical therapy location this week and next week. And so with that said, that's why I'll be on your videos and stuff, and I'll still be interacting. I just won't be posting anything new. If I do get a break over the next 5 days where I get a chance to do a half-hour live, I will. But if you don't see me on live or something, that's why we're gonna be busy. That's why I want to get everything done outside. This week I looked like death a couple times in my videos because I've been working from sun up to sundown, trying to get everything situated. So once he's here, we can just love on him and work with him and just play with him and take him places and do stuff with him. So we wanted to get all that done. So this will actually, I'm gonna have my grandson for 5 days, but it's gonna be a vacation for me too, because I won't have to work outside. But, oh, thank you, Nicole, I appreciate that. Thank you, Teacher Kelly. But I don't just say it to toot my own horn, I'm just saying that's why you're not gonna see me. So I front-loaded all these videos and stuff over the last couple days, plus working outside, so I don't have to worry about it. So I hope to be able to do a couple lives, at least short ones over the next few days, because my wife will be here most days too from work, so she can help with him. And then I'll hopefully be able to hop on a couple times or go watch somebody's live and interact. So with that said, I thank all my subscribers. You guys are great. Thanks for always interacting and asking questions, giving advice, emailing me information. I appreciate all that. And I hope everybody here just keeps growing up and up and up and gets monetized. And I hope we can use each other's channels as conduits to get there and help each other. So you guys all have a great day. And I don't know when I'll see you again, but until then, take care.